Welcome back, practitioners of man. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Got a short little practice for you guys today, and then I'm gonna get out there and enjoy this beautiful day. I know I talk a lot about integrity, I talk a lot about accountability, and sometimes it may sound like I get harsh. Sometimes it may even sound like some of these practices you're kind of grilling yourself, raking yourself over the coals, and that's not the intent with this. So I got a slightly different view on things today for you. And feel free to drop them in the comments down below too. But what are your wins for this week? What are you succeeding at? Now let's pause for a moment and look at this. Your goal may have been to make it to the gym 4 times each week. And maybe you only made it twice last week. Give yourself some credit. Instead of saying, I failed on going to the gym last week, start telling yourself, wow, I made it to the gym twice last week. That's 2 more times than the week before. I'm halfway to my goal. Maybe you were going to start eating cleaner, and you ate great all last week. You didn't spend any time on the computer playing video games all day. But over the weekend, you splurged a little bit and you played a few hours of video games. Don't rake yourself over the coals and say I failed on my nutrition and I still played video games all weekend. Tell yourself I ate great for 5 out of the last 7 days and I only played video games once. I'm over halfway to my goal. Maybe you were going to start on that business plan for that business idea that you've been sitting on for 2-3 months, maybe 2-3 years. Or maybe you got half of the business plan written and you just got a few things at the end that you're sitting with that you need to finalize. Don't tell yourself I failed on getting that business plan done last week. Did you come up short? Sure. But tell yourself I'm halfway to my goal. I got half of my business plan written. Notice the difference between I'm halfway to my goal versus I failed on my goal. I'm halfway to my gym attendance goal versus I failed on going to the gym last week. Notice the way your body reacts differently to each one of those statements. Notice the way your mind acts towards each one of those statements. There's a big shift in those. I know sometimes I sound like a hard ass on here, and I know sometimes I sound like I'm over-disciplined, and some people tell me I'm too intense, and guys, you gotta remember, some of these practices I've been doing for 13 years. And even after all that time, I'm not batting 1,000. I'm still coming up short a couple days a week. But let's use a baseball analogy here. If you're batting over 300, which is 30%, you're in the Hall of Fame. So if you're halfway to your goal on the gym, you're halfway to the goal on your nutrition, and you're halfway to your goal on your business plan, that puts you at about 50%, which in baseball terms is 500. You'd be in the Hall of Fame. Give yourself some credit. These practices, while they will expedite the results that you get, just plan on practicing them the rest of your life. This is not I'm going to do this for 90 days and then be done. There's no end to this. These are small little changes that you can make daily, and they're not meant to rake you over the coals. So let's start reframing our stories here. And then you get to write a new one. What would it look like if I was executing 100% on my gym goals and going 5 days a week? What would it look like if I was eating properly every day of the week? What would it look like if I just went ahead and finished that business plan this week? Who's the man that I would need to become? Because here's the man I am right now, and I'm halfway there. Who's the man that I would need to become to be all the way there? This doesn't have to be stressful. You're going to feel stress at times from life. You're going to feel pain at times from life. But these are to help you so that you feel better, so that you feel successful. Because isn't that feeling what we want? We don't necessarily want the perfect body. We don't necessarily want the perfect diet. We don't necessarily want that successful business. We want the feeling that comes from having that body, where you have confidence in yourself, where you're getting compliments from other people and they're loving on you and appreciating you and looking up to you for the role model that you are. You don't want that business. You want the feeling that comes with that business. You want that feeling of confidence, that feeling of security, that feeling of you can take care of yourself and your people. You don't just want more time with your family. You want that feeling that comes with it, that feeling of being connected, that feeling of being present, that feeling of being a role model and a leader in your world. So if it's the feelings we want, let's let ourselves off the hook a little bit. Give yourself some credit for the wins that you've already stacked. And you can start having that feeling now. And from that place, isn't it more likely that you're going to get better results? Isn't it more likely that you're going to be willing to tighten up that diet a little more, to be a little more present with your family, to go ahead and knock that business plan out this week? I bet if you're like me, and if you're like some of the guys in the group, once that feeling starts to come, the ideas start to flow more naturally, more easily, at a more relaxed pace. There's going to be some hustle and grind in all of this, but you're going to feel less of that. So why not have that feeling now? Give yourself some credit for the wins that you've already stacked last week, this week, for the changes that you've already made. And I'd love to hear in the comments below. I'd love to hear in the comments below what kind of wins you're already stacking. I know one of the guys from the group, he came and thanked me about 6 months after starting this. And he said, thank you for creating the thing that I didn't even know that I needed. I know that guy's about 2 weeks into starting his own business. Decided he finally wanted to do something with his life. And I know, your thought's gonna go to the, like, but how? He's only 2 weeks into his business. Why would you be celebrating that? He's got a long way to go if he's only 2 weeks in. Maybe so. But isn't he 2 weeks further than when he didn't have a business? Isn't he 2 weeks further than when he wasn't willing to take the leap? Isn't he 2 weeks further than when it was just a novel idea in his head with all those fears and all those doubts? Time will start to collapse on you based on how you talk to yourself, based on how you reframe these stories. So when's the last time you've practiced celebrating your wins to yourself? When's the last time you've practiced reframing that story? And when's the last time you've practiced thinking about the man that you would need to complete that story, the man that you would need to be? That's what I got for you guys today. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for showing up for your people. Thank you for showing up for me. I look forward to practicing with you again next time.